What a week of SuperCoach. Some huge scores out there. 2,700 to lead the round. We're only in round 7, but there's some even bigger talking points here on the Lair. A big weekend, wasn't it? 5 names. You're back, and we've got plenty to talk about again.
We do, Phantom. Thank you for having me.
And Chief. Hayden Doss Kenny.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Lair.
Thank you for having me again.
How was the weekend? How was the weekend, Dossie?
Are you okay?
I'm all right. I'm okay. There's lots to get to. It was a massive
week.
scoring week in SuperCoach. We had the top scorer was 2,700, over 2,700.
No.
So yeah, massive week in SuperCoach. Plenty to talk about, and an interesting week, I would say. Phants coming up as well as to what we do. Do we trade? Do we hold? Do we try and get up to the big dogs? There's lots to talk about.
And we're not just saying this either. We have been talking about it all morning, asking ourselves the same question: what do we do? Is there enough options? You know, in a standard SuperCoach season 3 or 4 years ago with no boosts and no extra trades, probably would be a pure holding week. So plenty to talk about. Phants Farm, top targets, all the favourites to come for 5 names. You just can't wait.
Can't wait. Oh, I've had a smile on my face.
But firstly, now, we'll quickly make it about you. We're going to go around the Lair as we do every week. Heroes and villains, our scores. Then we're going to get stuck into it. Is it true on Friday morning, Anzac Day, you were noticed, the Chief, at dawn service?
Shout out to Lawrence, fan of, not really the show, just Dossie, big Dossie fan out there, the Chief. Came up after the dawn service, was walking around with Mrs. Chief and Mrs. Chief's family as well there. Got noticed, and it was a big ego hit for Dossie. He was pretty happy with himself there. So shout out to Lawrence.
Were you wearing your SuperCoach shirt?
I wasn't. Yeah,
so you were still walking at that stage?
Yeah. I was still able to
Is
walk.
it also true that a big 5 names, this is a big story for you.
Yeah.
Because the Hills Football League here in Adelaide reports of a sniper hiding in the bushes on Saturday. Because our man went down like he'd been shot. That is what was getting around.
Yep.
What happened? Is this true?
I heard it was like the Adam Treloar one where he did both hammies at the same time and just went like a salmon.
Yet to find the physio, yet to get to the physio. We'll be there soon. He's a big SuperCoach fan as well, actually, my physio.
Happened?
Yeah, I did get shot. There was a sniper out at Nan on the weekend in the hills, and the hammy, TBD, but may just be off the bone there, boys.
He's
in the resis.
You're seriously struggling too.
Oh, it's bad.
Is it true also? I mean, because the weekend started so well for you. You got recognised. You had a nice date night on Friday night. And then on Saturday, you sent this at 9:56 a.m.
Famous group chat.
Dossie proud of no weekend meltdown. Relaxing time at Dossie HQ with that 2,400 projected. And then with a sunglasses smiley face emoji.
Saturday morning.
I did get the 2,400 in the end. We'll talk about scores in a minute, but 2,400 was apparently a bad score this week. So
yeah, meltdown did come. We'll get to that soon, but let's quickly go
talk about our weekend.
Around the pod. I was top of the pod again by 2 points over 5 names. Just 2,504. I'm up to 2,429 overall. Gone past Dossie.
Damn, didn't know that.
The 3-prong ruck strategy. Big week for ruckman around the competition. Gone cherry to coning for me. Had Max Gorn VC. 174. Surprised no one's bringing this up. Do I get to bring it up?
He was just going to be my hero. So, I mean, we haven't got to our heroes and villains yet.
What did you score then?
I scored 24-22.
Bottom of the pod.
Yeah, bottom of the pod. Bop. Oh, Dossie. 24-22. I mean, usually you'd be happy with a 2,400 score, and you know, I am reasonably happy that I managed to get there considering some of the terrible scores I had, but it was just a weekend where massive, highly owned premiums dominated, and then if you had the other guys, if you had some more unique picks that went big, as we said, 27-24 was the number one player for the round. That's 302 points behind him. So 3,194 rank for me. So I dropped down 1,000 rank spots, getting a 24-22. So it's tough, but it was just a big week.
I think I'm actually I think I should be the winner this week anyway. I know you beat me by 2 points, but
Big effort from your
I didn't have Dawn or Dacos, and I still scored within 2 points of you.
Yep.
So yeah, went up 3,140 spots.
Nice.
Season ranked 7,257. So I'm coming for the chief.
You're coming, you're rising up. It's a massive score, 2,500 as well.
Yep.
Let's get into our heroes and villains.
There he is again, the horny one.
I mean, he could be anyone. He could be everyone's villain.
Now,
I mean, a hero.
Onyx Patch has tweeted in, as Chief had you practicing good microphone technique during the week, we cut you off again. And Bear, speaking of heroes, at Bear Tourist, are the rumours true about Dossie copying Selby's team to keep his job? So they're coming for you, and they will come for you after that.
All right, well, I'm going to fix it up. This is the right button. Heroes and villains for the week. And I'm starting off my hero, Max.
You're starting?
Yep, I'm starting with my hero, Max Gorn, 174 for the weekend. Had the VC on him, obviously going to take that captaincy score. Everyone with him with the VC is going to take that captaincy score, 174. I mean, that's the top score of the round. You got to take that VC score, right, Phants?
That's right. You should.
Did you?
Did you have him VC?
Had a bit of an off moment. Another one, VC gone Thursday night. Didn't want to go lock it in Thursday night. Just wait to see if Harry Boyd potentially would he come back in on that final team on the Friday afternoon. I was at work, busy working. I'm not sure what you blokes were doing on Friday, but I was working. Anzac Day footy. Looked at my team 5 times, I think. Yep. Zach Reed, Jackson Pryor on the field. Don't need to loop any emergencies. That's it. Can't do it. Game has started. Got a message from the boss. For old school Lair listeners will know the boss character from the show. Said, you're not taking Gorn's score. So what are you talking about? He goes, check your team. Check my team. Nick Dacos was captain from last week.
Yeah,
looked good as well. He was on fire. Could have had 3 goals or 2 goals in the first
looked
quarter.
Like he was on track for 200, and I was getting really angry at that point to see that. But yeah, I mean that's unbelievable. Phants
copped it on X, rightly so. Owned it though. Yeah. Was bad. No excuses.
Okay.
No excuses. And it's a bit boring this week, but I am in the pan myself.
Okay.
For that, because can't go doing that. You can't sit here and tell other people what to do when you make mistakes like that. So I do own it. And as Scotty B says here on X, hipster kind of stuff that. Yep, that's fair. Someone else says, off getting a haircut. Boy, like the hipster does. So I love how it brought up the hipster's failings in the past.
I mean, you do like to get haircuts as well in office time.
Yep. But I'll cop it.
Yeah.
Imagine if I did take it. Still top the pole without it.
Yeah, it's big. Anyway, Max Gorn, my hero.
Yep.
Quick, let's get through our heroes.
All right. I'm going to give 2 heroes.
Okay.
Because I could give Terry, but I gave him it the last year. I'm going to give Lockie Neal, but also myself.
Ooh.
Because Lockie Neal has been a bit of a disappointing pick so far this year.
Yeah.
And to take Christian Petrarca's VC score, put Lockie Neal on the bench and just put the E on him and went, all right, Lockie, you need to lift your game.
Jeez, you've sparked him.
And he sparked into life with a 139.
Huge. That's, Dacos on the bench areas from Phants the week before.
Sometimes these players just need to know. Sometimes these players just need to know.
Yep.
My hero this week, Luke Beveridge.
Gee, that's a rare hero.
Never doubted our man Bevo. Just when we thought, Marcus Bontempelli was going to get away. Zach Butters getting away up to 690K now. Bontempelli back goes huge in his return from injury. Absolutely flying against the Giants too. Subbed off. Didn't play the last quarter. Bevo probably wants to pick him in your Supercoach team in a couple of weeks. Pulled him off the ground with a quarter to go. Still finished 128.
Yeah.
Went up, given his axe in the first half were so important. Bevo just helping the Supercoaches out, paying it back.
Massive. 1.8 points per minute and 1.6 points per minute for Bont in the first 2 games. Hasn't even played over 90 minutes yet. So watch out. That's, a talking point for us to get through later. Villains.
Here we go.
Who you got?
The villains. It's an easy one for me. Tom Stewart.
Oh.
Tom Stewart.
So where does this? It's your worst trade this year.
Yeah, 67. I think.
Where's it sitting all time?
I started with him. I started with him.
Yeah.
Had 100 in round 1, then a glorious 9 in round 2. Round 3 did not play. Round 4, and I think he was a late out as well. No. Round 3 he was out. Round 4 he played for 118. So another good return. Oh, glad I hold. Round 5, late withdrawal. Round 6 and 7, 64 and 67. Anyone that's on Tom Stewart, it's the worst pick. It's my worst starting pick easily of the year. He's averaging 71 points per game at the moment. He's down to 436K. He's lost, as the bargain price I thought he was, he's lost nearly 100K already. And his break even's still at like 100. What is it this week? His break even's 126 this week. He ain't getting half of that. So Tom Stewart, easily for me, my villain.
That's very, you were very, what's the word? I'm not sure. You were quite balanced. Subdued here because 5 names.
Yeah.
We revealed the meltdown in the group chat last week. The loyal Lair listeners did like it. He was a bit angrier than that on Sunday night, wasn't he? 5 names.
Oh.
Now, your text message from before about, it's all calm in Dossie HQ Friday morning. 4:43 local time, Sunday afternoon. Here we go. Now, the Weagles are playing, his team. Tom Stewart's out in the MCG. Well, she's supposed to be. Genuinely knew Flynn would do this too. Just couldn't get Cherry. Dossie's advice to everyone off the record. Ignore break evens.
Off the record.
Stewart. The worst Geelong defender. Humphreys 92, Cos 91, Blitz 81, SDK 71, Guthrie 69, Spewart 66, Genuine Spud.
Oh.
He's gone, washed.
Am I wrong?
Oh, that
I'm
was
sorry.
beautiful.
I did get a bit out
I
of
didn't read the off the record part last night.
No, I needed that. That was funny. That's funny.
You weren't happy.
I wasn't happy.
Are you trading him this week?
Look, I probably won't. That's the reality of it. It's just so disappointing. I don't know. He's in the gun for me. And there's plenty of players in the gun for other people as well that are just underperforming. And there's lots of these players to think about. And do you trade them? Do you hold them? I still like the old method of get the rookies off the field. But Tom Stewart, as I said, he's literally the worst Geelong defender at the moment. So he's scoring worse than the rookies. The rookie just scored 30 points on his head. So, I guess the lack of options is probably the issue there. But lots to think about.
All right. Well, my villain, let's stay on underperforming defender that we started with. Dossie and I started with, I believe, that this hasn't done it for us. Jaden Short.
Yeah. No good.
Yeah.
Just average.
Yeah, it's just average. We got sucked in, didn't we?
We did.
Again. He got us.
I'd like to talk my boys up. They're going to put them in a gun when they disappoint. Murphy Reid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looked a bit tired. Rising star. Get to his head maybe.
Don't know if you can do that to a rook, but
no,
fair enough.
Love Murphy Reid. Kicked a nice goal as well. Came good late, but 35 Supercoach points.
I was going to do Murphy Reid.
Average of 68 now. His break even's up to 64. $308,000 a year. He's in the mix to trade. I was going to do it last week. Wanted to keep him, Sam Davis, on the field. We're going to go this week. We'll talk about it later.
Yep. Now, we got in trouble last week from one little comment in the YouTube chat section.
Yep.
Stop bantering off the top. 16 minutes we spent last week. Only the 14 this week. So we've taken
covered a lot of that.
Now, just if you don't, just notice the timestamps though. Old Dossie does put in a bit of time into the timestamps. If you don't enjoy that, you can just skip this part, go straight to the meat of the pod, just in future reference. Timestamps are always in the show notes. Check them out.
That's the best thing about our show, not the advice.
Exactly. So,
but maybe the advice is pretty good because have you seen the Lair League this week?
Boy, have I seen the
Flying.
Lair League. Yep. We have the number 1 coach in the Lair League. Number 1 overall at the moment. Chris, number 1 overall. His name is Player 456. So a bit of a Squid Game reference there, guys. Shout out to Josh as well, 3rd. Shane, 4th. Arthur, 5th. Lincoln, 6th. And Ben, 7th. So all of those guys in the top 10, and they're all in the Lair League as well.
6 of the top 7.
Yep, 6 of the top 7 and 29 coaches in the top 100. So
Jeez.
unbelievable effort from all you guys, and to all those battlers outside the top 100, shout out as well.
I'm
and
ranked,
outside the top.
I'm ranked
thousands.
2,900 now, and I'm 458 of 3,600.
Competitive
Lair League.
league. Now,
Can join?
a reminder, you can join up until round 12. We're cutting it off there. We don't want any late comers, people that aren't true, loyal, their listeners in
Just
there
want
to
to
claim
get
the
their hands on
prize.
the prize. Yep.
We will have a prize at the end. It'll be a bunch of merch. We'll see what else we can muster up, but merch at the moment is the
five
go.
names will buy you a beer if you're in Adelaide too.
And that's
And
also
we'll,
part
and
of
we'll
the
put you
package.
in a group chat with Dossie.
Oh, yes. Especially
And the
invite.
league code is 719067. So as we said, the first buy round 12 is when you can join that up to. And just a quick update as well on our ratings target.
Oh, I'm excited.
We are getting close to 500. We're up to 371 on Spotify and Apple. We thought we might get to 500 this week.
You said that.
Yeah, he said that.
Not quite. There were some people leaving reviews in there this week that maybe shouldn't have.
Oh,
Oh, does he?
Yeah, can we talk
that
about
was
this?
you. Yeah, pull that up.
Can we talk about this? Because like this corrupts the whole
Fluffing
process.
the numbers.
I don't
Like,
think it does.
Imagine if it's like last week, it doesn't
There's
get there.
no
And
stipulations
there's-
that we can't put the votes in.
Yeah, but you've done a review yourself, and said not Dossie, and then you've
There's actually no evidence that it was me, but we'll move on,
and
guys.
then
I think.
no, because I've got to get this thing up as well.
We need real reviews though, so get on there, leave
Def
us
not
one
DOS.
now, rate us.
Yeah. Also, the final yes, the bleach hair looks good on me, all that kind of stuff.
It does.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good. Also, I think Dossie provides great insights and should be cut some slack. He's a top bloke, remarkably handsome, and should no longer be referred to as chief, in my opinion.
Is that what they said on the review?
That's
That wasn't
what
me.
you
I was
said.
I was the other one.
It literally says Dossie SC on the thing.
There's no evidence that was me.
This is a
but,
corrupt process.
Do keep getting your ratings
corrupt.
and reviews on Spotify and Apple, and Sim here will be bleaching hair. Now, there was one more question. Phants, what is 5 names referring to? Because we had a question about that as well.
5 names.
Mm.
Now, his name is Simeon, middle name Kingsley Thomas Wilson.
Yep.
That's 4.
Yep.
We did call him Lord Simeon Kingsley Thomas Wilson. Hipster, infamous hipster Matt Turner just went with a random 5 names, even though we had 4.
Yeah,
That's
don't think they can count. Hipster's maths isn't great.
All right.
5 names. Not much to it.
We've got the history. The Lair leading story for the week, and we did allude to it. It's just a tough week. What do we do? Do we trade? We spoke about the rookie crisis a bit last week, and that seems to be here. We might have a couple of options that we'll discuss through shortly, but there's not a heap of rookies with actual good job security. There's not a players that have There's not a heap of players that have fattened up. There's probably some that we'll talk about that we can cull. But what do we do this week, Phants? There's some big calls to be made.
There's more to trade out than there is to trade in to the top of the show. I think this was 3 years ago and we didn't have boosts and more trades. Be an easy hold week. Your players like Murphy Reed, Sam Davidson, they might not lose too much money this week. So you could hang on to them if you needed to, because what are you going to go to? The downgrade options this week, there isn't much. The number 1 option by lowest break even in the competition, 5 names, tell me who that is.
No.
Oscar McDonald, playing forward for Fremantle.
Yep.
Took down the Crows on the weekend. He's got the lowest break even in the comp. So again, people that have urgency when it comes to upgrading, we all feel it. But are you going to hurt yourself in the long run by forcing a downgrade to someone like Oscar McDonald? Matt Flynn is still there. That shows what there is to offer. 341K break even, still at negative 45. He is the 4th. He has the 4th lowest break even in the comp. So we'll be forcing upgrades this week. Not saying I'm not going to do it and that you shouldn't do it, but it'd have to be worth it what you're going to get out of it, I think, in terms of upgrade. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And, just to correct you from before, Phants, for the off-the-record text message that was read on air.
Don't listen.
The break-even situation that I was referring to, though, is, of course, SuperCoach Plus, fantastic resource to get your break-evens. It's just that we don't always need to follow suit as to if this person does have the lowest, if Oscar McDonald has the lowest break-even, you don't have to get him if you don't think his job security is there. And sometimes we can get, like myself, I fell for it multiple times already. I've brought in a Tommy Gross. I'm still hopeful that he'll get a game in the future, but I brought in a Clay Hall because he was just there and had the lowest break even though there might be other players that I thought, might have a bit more job security. I think it is better to balance up that job security rather than just jumping straight on the lowest break even and just looking to that top end of the break even. As much as I do love SuperCoach Plus, it's a great resource there, fans.
Yeah, and you look at, James Tunstall, -30 break even. He was a sub on the weekend for the Lions, which we did sort of allude to last week. Kyle Oman could be injured. Does he go out? Does that mean Tunstall comes back in? Do you take the risk that then if he doesn't perform, he then goes out? You're stuck with another red dot?
Yeah, you don't. Don't.
And what do we do? We're going to keep talking about this because what do we do?
Well, I think it's going to come down to who do we cull and who do we keep, which is coming up next in Phants Farm.
Yep.
But I think it's a good time. Let's just talk, how many trades do we have left? How many boosts do we have left? And where do you think, in general, people should be if they want to be, competing? Let's talk about it in two ways, competing for overall rank and competing to be right up the top end, or in your leagues and competing. Because I think it is different. I think it's very different.
It's a big question. It's a wide question.
It is a wide question, but let's just say start with our teams first and just where we're at. So, Phants, do you have your number up there?
I've got
left
27 trades left, 3 boosts. I've only used 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. Remember, for context as well, 3-4 years ago, we had 30 trades from round 1.
Yeah.
And you were still completing your team with those 30 trades.
What about you, Sim?
I've got 26 trades and 3 boosts.
Geez, plenty of boosts for you too. I'm 27 and 2 boosts.
About the same. All about the same.
Yeah. So I guess the question a lot of people want to know, and it's people that have either used plenty of boosts or just want to know when is the time to boost. Let's just get that out of the way as well. We probably could cover that a bit earlier in the season, but now that we're here anyway, I think if you've used all your boosts or you're about to use all your boosts and you're still continuing to upgrade your team, it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're on the other end. Like, that's all you need to look at.
If you can make 3 upgrades in the next 3 weeks, or if I could do that, I'd happily use my boost, potentially.
Don't forget in the buys, you get 3 trades as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So you still get those 3 trades every single week in the buys. You don't need the boosts to do that. So
and we've got longer buys, don't we?
Yeah, the buys go from round 12 to 16 this year. So there's some weeks where like only Fremantle and St Kilda, for instance, in round 13 have the buy. So yeah, it's spread out a little bit more than it usually is.
So yeah, don't be afraid to exhaust them. Again, if you're improving team, if you're upgrading team, because that is the aim of the game, to become full premium or have all the best players on the field first. Because if you do that quicker, you're going to start scoring bigger quicker and put yourself in a better spot for a big run home. So I potentially might use one this week. There is some value that is available too, which you could get to in 2 trades. That's a thing I'm weighing up, which we'll talk about. But I have no problem with exhausting them. I think if you're done with your boost by the bias, then that's not a problem.
I think the thing, and if you're playing for league, this is important to just save trades where you can as much as you can as possible, because if you're going to win a matchup, say, you can always just, I'm going to win this matchup. I can save this sort of luxury, more of a luxury trade. Like if it's a clear just cash grab that you need for the next week, you still go ahead and do that. But if it's a luxury trade, you might just want to reverse that trade if you can see that you're winning your matchup, so that you can hold those trades, because trades do become very valuable towards the end of the year in those league matchups where you want to win a matchup and you've got to like bring in someone just for a few weeks stretch in those final weeks. You might find the perfect matchup. So I think that's also important to sort of differentiate.
How many trades are you going to use this week? Quickly, what are you thinking?
I'm probably thinking just 2 at the moment, because as we said, we'll get to Bubble Boys and the players that are available. I just don't know if I'm that desperate to get them in, or that I can make an upgrade on the other end. So I think I've got a little bit of cash in the bank personally. So I think maybe I'll just be going with the 2 again, holding that boost until there's just a real clear option. And, I mentioned someone like a Henry Hustwaite going early last week.
The pencil. Geez, he looks like a pencil. He actually looks like a pencil.
But
he does.
So hold on. 5 names.
Yeah.
Did you see, big game on the Lair last week?
Yeah.
All over social media too.
Oh, that, I mean.
And he does the graphics too. Put himself on there.
Actually, he should have been my villain for the for retweeting his own work.
Yeah, so So from what you said,
Mhm.
you played pencil on field. Trade him in, played him on field. Yep.
I was just providing advice for the people, for the masses, and it paid off, I'd say, 72.
I traded him in on the
You traded
bench.
him?
Did you trade him in?
Yeah,
No,
I traded
not
him. Did you not trade him in?
Not at all.
I may. Look, it's team dependent.
Do you
Look,
apologise to people? Look down the
No,
barrel of the
they
camera.
got-
Can you
trusted-
you apologise to me?
If they
But-
trust,
so-
you would have got a 72 on field. I would have played it. The
Yeah,
only
but it's on
problem
my
was
bench.
Warning.
I had 78 from Lindsay looped. I couldn't do it with the players that I had in my team, and I looped him on. I didn't know that Lindsay was going to get 78, so I didn't need that on my team. It's a perfectly good reason.
Oof.
Otherwise, I would have brought him in, and I'll look to bring him in this week. Okay.
Yep.
Is that all right? Is that okay?
No,
with you, fans?
it's actually not.
Cull or keep? Phants Farm.
We're heading back to the farm. And we are going, yes, cull or keep. I feel like today, cull or keep might not be enough for a few of these
Ooh.
names. We definitely need to touch deeper on some of these.
Yep.
But I'll start with the cows. We determine these players, the rookies that are perhaps fattened up enough to sell. Cull or keep. Sam Davidson, 310K. Sim?
Cull.
He's got a 50 break even and he scored a 51 last
Cull.
round. Murphy Reed, you mentioned it before. I wanted to hand this one to you, Phants. Your boy, 308K, 64 break even now. Break even's available, Supercoach Plus.
I think Cull. Sam Davidson too as well, down at Ballarat as well this week against the Power, not back at Marble, which we know his two big scores have been so far. So Cull for both of them if you can make the upgrade work on either side.
Luke Trainus, 260K. If you held, he still scored a 68, which you said to hold.
Yep.
He's now got an 86 break even, though. Still got that 2 sub-affected score in his average. So you're looking to still hold there, Sim,
I'd
for the long
hold.
term.
Should have culled him last week.
No, you should have.
Yeah, I'm a cull on that.
Man.
Levi Ashcroft, 347K, 48 break even. Lots of people trading out Levi.
Mm.
I like the keep there.
Me
I like
too.
the keep.
Me too. Shown, a bit lower on the weekend, but he can be a consistent scorer. We know he's a good ball. When he's in that team, keep.
What if he's your only avenue to upgrade? Do you then pull the trigger? Like if he's
Depends who you get him.
if you're flying, if you're one of the top 10 that's listening to the show and they've got their whole teams flying, could you go early and dump a Levi? Like what benefit?
Well, you're not going to
are you
lose by upgrading. He's
Yeah.
not going to suddenly
be a
average
top-
105,
yeah.
110. But is it going to then expose you? Then what are you playing? What rookies are you playing instead then? Is it going to expose you that way? You might say Levi Ashcroft this week scores 75. You trade him, the premium in scores 110. So 35 the difference there. Does then if you're forced to play a rookie you're not as sure about on the field still because you've decided to move Ashcroft on and not say, Reyes or Jackson Pryor,
Mm.
they score 40. And you're back to even. So again, you're not losing out, but you don't expose yourself too much.
Sam Lawler, 310K there. Sim,
What's his break even?
cull or keep, 67 break even.
Cull.
I think it's time to go. Although that being said, he's probably the other one I would consider holding for the long term. I think he's got a couple more spike scores in him, Sam Lawler. I think he could go big and eventually become more of that, get you more cash than he has so far. Jackson Pryor, 285K Phants. His break even's only
Still
33, but he only scored 43 last round.
I think you stay one more round if you need him.
Isaac Kako, people are dumping him. Only 218K he's up to though. Sim hasn't made you a stack of cash,
No.
but I think, like we said, times are thin at the moment.
What-
People looking for any form of cash they can get.
What's his break even?
The break even is 25,
Keep.
and he's got North
He's-
Melbourne this
he's still a
Thursday.
slow
You could
burn.
also loop him if you
Yeah.
have. Don't know too many people with bench loopholes up forward, but he is available.
Yeah, I'll keep. We knew it was going to be a slow burn.
And finally, Zach Reed is also being traded out early just because, as we said, we're looking for cash. He's fresh off a 90 though, Phants, and was probably one of Essendon's best players on the weekend. He's nearly up to 300K, 298K, 48 break even.
He was very good on the weekend in the wet there on Anzac Day.
Only a 30 odd the week before, I think, is the reason people are thinking maybe they can jump off.
4 intercept marks.
He was good.
And that break even then scores okay again this week. And that break even is going to come down, so I'd keep.
Now we're jumping away from the cows and into some of these mid-prices or underperforming players. I think last week, so if you forgot, last week we spoke about a few of these players as well. We spoke about Clary. He scored a 98. So these are the players that were being thrown up last week. Clary was a 98. Will Ashcroft bounced back with a 99. Jake Saligo, 91. Patrick Cripps, 104. So it's not always the best. And I know Finn Callahan as well. I held him 116. So there's a few players that have paid off holding through these tough times. But now that we are into the bulk of, where do we find our money, maybe these guys can go. And Clary is once again up there. People are trying to find the money, trading him out. Didn't go big as we thought against an easy matchup.
Slow first half, 70 plus in the second half. 98
last round against Richmond. Weagles this week with an 87 break even. You still got to hold that, right?
Oh, has to be a keep.
Yeah.
That's a keep. Riley Sanders, he had a massive week the week before, 114, but then unfortunately just a 56 on the weekend.
Too inconsistent.
Jai Simpkin, 437K. I probably don't even need to say the break even there. Phants is off. It's funny, he's up to nearly 10% owned because he started with 3 tons and then he's only had 1 ton since, I think. So he's had his last 2 scores are 70s and 50s, and now Wardlaw's back as well.
But still, are you trading him or are you still are you trying to get a rookie off your field first?
Well, that's the question for you, mate. It's keep or cull.
Well, I think cull him. You shouldn't have him in your Supercoach team anyway. But if you've got him, if you're playing some dodgy rookies on the field, that's probably your bigger issue still, I think.
Bailey Dale. Now this is for you. This one hits home for me. He is being traded out by people. 473K, 116 break even. He started off incredible. Massive tons to start the year. He got tagged to an 81 against Carlton, and that was fine because the next week he bounced back for 110 plus. But then since then, it's been ugly the last few weeks. So 437K sim, 5 names. Bailey Dale. You sticking fat with him. Do you think he's going to be that premium defender?
No.
You're off.
I don't have him. I'll try and upgrade him, yeah.
Try and upgrade. Phants? You the same?
No, I'd keep him.
Yeah, you're a keep.
So
we've got 1 keep, 1 cull.
I'll give you some stats here. Supercoach Plus.
Yep.
11 games at Mars down in Ballarat. Venue for this week's game. Average 107.3. The highest score of 141, his highest average of any venue in the country. Bar TIO Stadium, which only played 1 game. So only 11 games, smaller sample size, but good numbers there.
I think when you're talking about someone like, as we said, a Jai Simpkin versus a Bailey Dale, Bailey Dale's had that history of recent history of high
premium
ceiling scores.
You're trading a premium, right? It's a sideways premium trade.
Keep Dale over Simpkin, yeah.
Yeah.
But I reckon if you could upgrade to
who would you?
Top of
like you're talking only if you can get to a Sheasel or a Sinclair, these guys.
One of those guys.
Sinclair.
Jaden Short, now Phants, 447K. Like, are these the guys you're keeping or culling still?
Culling long term, but
I only had 1 ton for the year. We're saying get rookies off the field.
I still think do that.
Yep. All right. Talking about getting aggressive now. We have a lot of top coaches here. In the Lair Listener League especially. Guys like Jack McRae, Adam Chera, Jordan Dawson, Caleb Daniel. We're getting these questions through as well. We're going to get through some questions later, but people are asking. Questions are being asked about, hey, we can't find the cash. Can we jump off some underperforming players before they maybe drop? Jack McRae, for instance, 100 break even, 2 scores in the 70s in his last 3. He's highly owned. Could you go against the grain? You've got Matthias Filippo apparently potentially even coming back this week, maybe next. Is Jack McRae an option to cull in your forward line?
I wouldn't cull him ahead of, out of those 4 that you mentioned, I'd cull Chera and who was the
Dawson and Daniel.
Chera number 1, and then it's probably Daylight, and then I'd just be a little, I don't know why, I reckon Daniel should get, I was still feeling he could get dropped soon.
Yeah. Okay. No, he was, you get the Zach Fisher treatment. I think as you've written there, that is correct. He's not.
Yeah.
What like he's playing without that composure with the footy. North fans aren't happy. Surely you can't trade Jack Macrae. Surely not.
No. I'm just being devil's advocate.
Averaging
here.
108 for the year.
People thinking about it, especially if the Poe comes back. The Pooh.
Might help him.
Only reason you're trading Jack Macrae if he's dropped.
Okay. Yeah, I agree for what it's worth. I do agree there. I think those are some of the names there. Maybe I'll just throw in one more on the farm. Tom Stewart. Keep or cull. Genuinely, I need help here. He's scoring rookie numbers.
Same as Dale for me. If you upgrade to a big dog.
Only if you can upgrade.
I'd trade him before Dale, but I would still keep both.
Okay. Rookies on the bubble.
It's going to be a short segment.
There's a few. We did say there was a crisis on hand last week. There still is a crisis. You've mentioned a couple of names earlier in the show, but Oscar McDonald is the one, 119K defender. Playing forward, though, for Fremantle, -64 break even, projected to go up 52K Phants with a score of 55. What's the job security like? Is it good enough to jump on board?
Not going to play on Mark Keane every week.
No.
But he's seemingly got a role in that team now.
Wasn't the go last week that he'd taken Voss's spot and he was going to be straight back in? Or so
yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Isn't Voss out? Voss out for 3 weeks, though, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure Voss is out for a while.
Okay.
Obviously, very experienced campaigner. 119K. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. You wouldn't go there with confidence. You wouldn't be confident playing him on field. Because what are you doing? You're trading a Zach Reed or a Jackson Pryor or a Luke Traynor who you probably had on field.
Yep. I'm just
2 goals on the
Voss
weekend.
was suspended.
Yeah, so it's round 9. Voss is back.
Yeah.
Round 9.
He's playing a role.
So it's basically, it's possibly, Freo fans can help us out here. Freo
I don't
fans
think I'll
will
go
know.
there.
Let us know in the comments on YouTube or in Spotify. If you're a Freo fan, we want to know, is he straight back in? Because we need to know the job security there. Because as I said, break evens, yes, there's a massive value in them. But if his job security is 0 and he's going to be a red dot, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to go there at all.
I don't think I'll touch it.
Okay. The next one on the list, Phants.
James Tunstall, we mentioned him before.
No.
Just stop there.
Sorry?
Just
no.
no.
Oh, no. I thought you told me I was wrong on the list. No, yeah, sorry.
No, I was
119K, -3 break even to start as the sub, which we did think could happen. But
I heard
Kylo-
Phants talking that he might bring him in this week, regardless of the 13 sub-affected score on the week.
That's how desperate we are. Depending on what happens if Kyle Lohman does play. Obviously, Kyle Lohman came back into the team last week, pushed Tunstall into the sub position.
Yeah, it's not like and the week before his time on ground was really high. Wasn't a fan of.
But I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But I want to keep trading. I want to keep upgrading. So we'll wait and see. But I think there's another mid that we like.
Talk about him in a second. We've
Oh,
firstly got
well.
to just quickly talk about
Gee, keeping's very
Aaron Francis.
serious. Who?
Aaron Francis, -16 break even. Just talking in the break even.
Wayne
what's he priced?
Carey 2.0.
What's he priced
That's
at?
what Will-
213K.
Nah.
That's what Will Hayward said 2 weeks ago. To playing like prime Duck Carey.
He got a 70
Pretty cool.
and a 70. The thing is, his scoring is good, 70 and 72. And the first game, he was the sub, so he scored 70 in only 42 minutes. He did look, as you said, like prime Carey the first game. A little bit less on the weekend. Time on ground, an issue. Job security, an issue.
Playing
Too expensive.
GWS
So no
this
thanks.
week, I believe.
The name we are referring to, though, there's a couple of more names. So there's one more that's on the bubble this week. Surprisingly on the bubble, it's Elijah Sardis, 191K.
Yep.
So I know you're not making a stack of money going down unless you have a Murphy Reid in that if you've got someone in the 300K bracket, I think this guy could be a perfect avenue to just get yourself 110K and possibly get that 110 plus K back on the other end.
And possibly, you can still be relatively sure if he's in the 22, if he's picked, firstly, that you could play him on field.
Yeah, the good thing is we're going to know as well. He's the first game of the round against North Melbourne on the Thursday night. So you'll know You know if he's the sub, you know if he's going to play, and you can possibly loophole him if you have a Clay Hall or something like that.
Was pulled out the VFL on the weekend, given the game on Thursday as well. Dylan Shields struggling as well late in that Anzac Day clash against the Pies.
Yep. So they played on the Saturday, the Bombers VFL team. Obviously, the Bombers AFL team played on the Friday. So they decided on the Saturday he was a late withdrawal from VFL because that would be a 5-day turnaround for him to play in the AFL. So we're hoping he's going to play AFL.
The week before that, for his 2 weeks ago in the VFL, 19 contested possessions, 15 clearances, 32 touches, 18 kicks. How many of those do you think were effective?
Well, I know he scored 110 Supercoach. So those numbers aside from that, it can't be too many effective.
27.8% of those effective.
God.
So what is that?
You can't.
Not many.
You can't kick.
Yeah,
but
because that's a 200 Supercoach score if they're
exactly,
effective.
Yeah. But like we said over the preseason,
He can't kick.
it doesn't. Yes, but at the price, if he goes out and wins the footy first on the ground,
Just handball.
but even bushes a bit by foot,
Just handball.
he's still going to be okay to make money at the
He
price.
shouldn't be allowed to have his kicking license.
Yeah, I personally think he is almost your number one rookie target. I know it's 190K is the only problem. So if you can't do anything meaningful though, Phants, do you just avoid?
Does he stay in though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if he can't,
I don't feel like you go up. Say get rid of a red dot if Clay Hall's not named again. Or a Tom Gross. I don't feel like you go up to make cash. I don't feel like you do that at all.
And if you're not getting your upgrade target that you want on the other side, then you don't need to force him in.
Yep. Now these are players that aren't on the bubble, as we've mentioned. On the bubble means you played 2 games, your money is about to change. But a guy that we mentioned last week, who you could have gone early last week. We said lock him in on field last week. Well, you might as well do the same this week, and I might be joining you this time. 121K mid, Henry Hustwaite, the pencil.
24 touches, it was good.
Connor Nash
Handballs
out. We mentioned Hustwaite was in. We called it early.
Sam Mitchell gave him a shout out as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to say what he said?
Give me a second.
He's pretty good. Just handballs too much.
Yeah, he scored the 72, 24 disposals, 7 contested, 3 clearances, only had 12 centre bounces. So, about half the centre bounces that available to him. So you'd hope that he gets more than that, but still had decent time on ground. And he's up against another easy opponent this weekend. Yeah. So you'd hope that he can do another good score.
Yeah. So this is what Sam Mitchell said of the pencil.
Okay.
We saw Henry Hustwaite come in today and do a really good job. I was wrapped for him. He really deserved his opportunity. He got it and he took it.
There we go.
Love it.
Oh, that's great news. And you'd hope that extends to just 2 more games so we at least get that cash rise. And hopefully beyond that, he can solidify his spot and stay in the side even when Connor Nash is back.
Better follow through this week.
Also, I just want to keep watching because he looks exactly like a pencil and it's really funny.
Jed Buslinger came in as a
good.
surprise debut
fella.
from old Bevo, your hero for the week, Bevo. 57 Supercoach points on debut, 12 disposals at 83% efficiency. The thing that we like, though, aside from 4 marks, a couple of tackles, but he had 7 spoils, which is exactly his role in the team, just for job security-wise, because he came in for Liam Jones. So the thing that Liam Jones does, you only ever see him spoiling the ball. So for Bussinger to come in and do that, 57 Supercoach points, you can't go early, though, can you? 5 games?
Nah.
Only the 1 game to his name.
Yeah.
There's a few, it's competition for spots there. It's tough. So I agree. We've still got questions to come and a pew-pew from 5 names.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. So I've come up with one on the fly.
But first, we have to get to Phants' top targets.
He's also doing it on the fly as well already.
I'm doing it on the fly, actually. I actually missed this part of the thing. Interesting week, as we mentioned. Nothing really that clear.
Do we need a pad for you for a video?
No, I've padded. Number 1, again, same as last week. Oh, no, he wasn't. He was on number 1 and buy, hold, sell. Again, buy, hold, sell was flying. Again, if you don't watch it, tune in. Christian Petrarca.
Okay.
For you.
Track. Yeah, he's for me too. Yeah.
Now, we spoke about him last week. We said he was ready to go. Season high CBAs the week before. They, similar again on the weekend. He was great against the Tigers. Still a great price. 2 Christian Petrarca, 497. Anything sub 500k for him is good buying. To Christian Petrarca, if you didn't get on last week, and you could do that in 2 moves as well. So good value option with him. Number 2, other value option. It's not number 1 because I'm still not certain. Chad Warner in season high CBAs for the Chad on the weekend. 120 point Supercoach score. Fresh off re-signing in Sydney. 460k. Now that is great buying. If you do have a hole there in your forward line, put him in there. He's probably going to be top 6 to 8, you'd think, if that midfield role continues. We saw Isaac Heaney play more forward on the weekend. Only concern is low break even, 80. Toby Bedford playing the Giants this week. Could he tag him?
I don't love it. I mean, I agree he's a target. He's cheap. He's cheaper than what he can perform. And when he's a midfielder, as he was on the weekend, he can dominate. But Chad Warner, for me, I owned him last year. It is a bumpy ride, especially when there's tags on the horizon. And it's a situation where it's almost like, well, what we saw from Matty Rowell on the weekend, which I didn't mention. He didn't even get attention, I don't think, but he down to a 60. Then the next week he's a 130, then a 50. You know, that's sort of what you get with Chad Warner. At least we did last year. I jumped on after, I think it was 3 140s in a row. And then it was like 70, 50, 70, because he kept getting attention because he's that good.
Yep. I'm not sure if I want to go there, but just on the price, what we saw on the weekend, definite value there. Number 3, Lil Lockie Neal. If you're out on the hunt for a premium, 562k, he's down 83k on his starting price, added 6k to his price tag on the weekend, break even of 79. So he's probably not getting much cheaper because the run is good. Not that he needs, but Gold Coast, North, Melbourne, Hawthorn, and Essendon to come as well. 3 of those at the Gabba. So Lockie Neal, if you're looking for an upgrade, who's 23% of teams for a dual Brownlow medalist who's averaged 130 a season before.
Yep.
Number 4, pencil. I think if you don't have him, he's the number 1 downgrade option this week. Despite not being on the bubble, I think.
Those comments, I'm glad you brought them up by Sammy Mitchell because, that makes me a lot more confident.
So you'll actually bring him in?
I will.
Number 5, last week, I think, to get on, Connor Rosie, 534k, still pretty good buying. 3rd Supercoach ton in a row in that new role. In defence, doesn't look like it's going to end. So I think 534k is probably going to get defender status. But even if he didn't, he's still now in that role, as we've said before, a much better chance to contend with the top 8 midfielders while he's playing in defence for Port.
Yeah. No, I like those targets. I can see you're hunting for that value. You're not keen to go, you don't have any of those top rookies, top, low break evens that we talked about before. You are eyeing
Not sure about those.
Hustway is your number 1 in terms of, downgrade options.
That's what I would do if I didn't go like earlier last week.
Where would Sardis be in this sort of lineup? Okay.
We've got to wait till he's in
pretend
the
his name. Pretend
his name. Probably.
Would he be in there?
Yeah, he sits in there. No, just behind.
Just outside.
Probably number 6.
Okay. Good to know. Sim, you've been doing some research over there.
Yep.
And it's time for unique names with 5 names.
Alrighty then. So, should go the easy way and should go Zach Butters, but no, but no, we don't do that. Do that here. And shout out to some of the stores over the weekends from some of the unique names with 5 names.
Cool.
Okay, Jed Bowie, nice. Former alumni, Trent Rivers. Was very close to being it again, but yeah.
There you go.
But this one, right. For someone, if you want to upgrade a Tom Stewart or a Bailey Dale.
This is a good one.
And because the top defenders are spoken about a lot, your Whitfields, your Naz, or your, Sinclair. Mm-hmm. He is absolutely killing at the moment. Lockie Ash.
Pew pew.
That's big.
Yep. 572, so he's not cheap.
You're paying up.
You're paying up.
You're paying up.
But he has got an absolute ceiling in that role. He scored 140 against the Bulldogs for his highest score of the year on the weekend, but he scored 137 against the Saints, 130 against West Coast, 122 against Collingwood. His lowest score is an 80 in absolutely terrible conditions at the MCG against Melbourne. Yeah, I think Lockie Ash is
the real deal.
I think so. I think him and Whitfield, yeah, they're such a big part of the Giants game. So, and if you ever going to tag one of them, it's Whitfield. You're not going to tag Ash.
570K.
It is a lot, I know.
Can I ask you?
I mean, I could go for the, just that, but it's like 690, there's some value there.
At the same price, quickly, just off topic, a question, and one guy I'm weighing up, and it is, back given your death to break evens tirade on the weekend, Jack Sinclair is down to 570. He shot up big time after those a few early scores, back down 22K below his starting price. Scored 99 on the weekend. His break even's 164, so he's probably going to get cheaper. They've got a good run though. Freo, Carlton, West Coast, Gold Coast, Melbourne, and the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
A high break even. Would you be okay with jumping on early if you can get there? 20, say he scores 110, he goes down 20, 25K. In the scheme of things, does that put you off?
Yes.
You'd wait.
I'll wait a week.
I love the run. I think we spoke about this pre-show, but I love the run. I'd almost be willing to go there because I think you might make it back with that run coming for Sinclair. But I have actually followed the advice from Five Names this year in terms of I've been not doing that. I've been holding the boost if you're using a boost to get there, waiting for the cash to come down, and it has been paying off. Well, what I will say, I mean, score this week, rank this week, didn't pay off. I think long term, I think holding that, I actually gained, some trades and a boost back this week by not doing something like that, and I still got an upgrade in my team. So I think as long as you're upgrading your team, Phants, if you're not, then go ahead and boost. And Sinclair's a great option. I mean, Sinclair's a top 6.
Yeah, it's either that or use 2 trades and get Chad Warner, who I'm not convinced about. So I'm thinking about it. I like it. Let us know what you think, Jack Sinclair.
Yeah. I think go the one that you're sure about, Phants.
Yep.
For sure.
Few questions here.
Yeah, speaking about some more questions. Got the button sorted now.
If they are asking that question, they can ask it to me directly. What question do you want to ask me?
Got questions coming through
Quiz
now.
style, I reckon.
Quiz style here.
Yep.
So we actually put this up on Instagram this time as well as Twitter. So Phants, I'll be relying on you for some
Phants on
Twitter
Instagram now too.
Phants is on Instagram as well.
At the Phantom SC.
You got jealous of the followers. We
there.
might need Phants to get a few more. If you go follow
follow
Phants,
me, please.
I've got a couple hundred there, so you might need
Just started.
it. Also follow us on socials at SuperCoach AFL. We've got Instagram, X, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Go follow us across there. You can see a bunch of stuff we clip up from this show here, and also any additional stuff, like we put our punishments up on there initially as well.
And the must-watch SuperCoach video of the week, buy, hold, sell.
Correct. Buy, hold, sells up there. Speaking of punishments, we have been talking. We've been lazy on our punishments, so
Will come.
It will. We just might do a few at once, I think is what we're going to do. So keep an eye out on the socials for that. Yep. This one comes from Levi. Is it too late for Rosie? Now, he's in Phants top targets. Let's talk to Five Names for this
Last
one.
week,
Is it too late for Rosie? We had a bunch of questions
Last
about
week.
Rosie.
Last week.
Have to get on.
Yeah.
From HG, Hust wait, yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. We're all yay there. Aaron, trade TDK to Sherry if no other problems. Now,
Is this your burner?
Yeah.
You're trying to get Sherry this week.
We've had this question a few times. Just thoughts on trading. Say it's not TDK. Any premium ruckman, like I'm talking premium, to Sherry. Now,
TDK's good.
I know I'm not aboard it, but Sherry, I think this could be the cheapest you're ever going to get him. He might get up to it. Like you're looking at a Butters who's impossible to get to. Sherry is a guy that could get towards 700K if he keeps this form up. That's the argument. I'm just being
Yeah. I still wouldn't do it.
No.
Not this point. That's luxury trade
That's
areas.
luxury when your team's completed.
Okay.
Or if Pittner comes back.
And TDK against Riley O'Brien this week too.
Yeah. We actually didn't mention quickly Flynn. We had a solid performance, got dominated early, must be said. Came home strong, ended up tunning up.
Mm-hmm.
Could you still go there?
Yeah, I think so.
Phants, he wasn't in your top targets.
He's still
just because you had to pad there for a bit?
Negative break even. He's at 341K. It's a bit harder now. I still wouldn't go down from the premium. Remember last week it was to go up from or sideways from a mid-pricer.
I reckon you could do that if you want to
not for me.
reading on some cash jam. That's the only way I'd do it now.
I think the tough part is a Gorn's just dominating.
Yeah.
A TDK as much as
Oh, no, he has to be a flex.
He's dominating.
He has to be a flex.
And Sherry, but if you have all, the idea is to get all three, and they're almost all getting out of price range at the moment.
Yeah, how the hell did you get all three?
That's what I mean, though. Like,
And they're playing. Flynn's playing against Gorn this week.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No,
Flynn.
Pass.
I mean, Gorn v C or C. My goodness.
just take it this time.
Okay. Now we've got a few questions relating to Warner and Rankin. So this one from Jack: Warner or Rankin?
Rankin.
Rankin or Track? From Lloyd.
Track at the price.
Yeah, I agree. But you should have Rankin already.
And from Will, Warner or Track. So that's going to be Track.
Trade.
This one from Aiden: why did you tell us to trade Fraser? Bro popping off.
Who said trade
I
him?
reckon that was
Yeah, and I traded him. Yeah, listen, my bad. Got better. I got better. I don't know.
Yeah, he's been moved, but he's been good back in there.
He's been good. Yeah, I know.
Bit of
I'm
a
sorry.
change.
Apologise for that.
Trelaw's coming back soon though, so
He's probably just going to be good anyway. I don't know. I hate myself.
Is
for
Matt
that
Kennedy the real deal as a forward in Supercoach?
I'm never going to say he's the real deal.
one. What about George Hewitt?
That's the thing. It's funny. And by the way, thank you for finally mentioning George Hewitt. Every show I've said
First
I'm going to
mention of the
mention
year.
him. Every show I've said I'm going to mention him and I haven't. We had a YouTube comment. It was in the preseason. They've shouted me out the last couple of weeks. They said, I told you preseason that George Hewitt was a good pick. I gave it no love. I continued to give it no love. Haven't even mentioned him till now. He's one of the top scoring super coaches. Only just got to the ton on the weekend, but he's one of the best players in Supercoach at the moment. So good on you if you picked him.
Second rank. Score of total points. Andy B,
Unbelievable.
number one.
Well, what do you think? Kennedy and Hewitt the real deal? Did
Kennedy-
they help each other by moving away?
I still think George gets surpassed in the midfield. Kennedy is definitely a top 6 straight chance, but I do want to see what happens when Trelaw comes back.
Shane asks, is Petrarca a must this week?
I think so. Sub 500k.
Very, very close to a must. I don't think it's. Yeah, I'd say like 98%.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
98% must.
But he's one you want in your forward line.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a complete. You don't have a complete forward line without him.
And is this too sidewaysy also from Shane? Will Ashcroft down to Track?
No,
You do
As
that?
in, I wouldn't do it.
No. Yeah.
I consider it. I think Trout's a better player.
All right. Now, Trent, this was from Instagram, asked about 18 questions. So here's a couple of them.
Oh,
Is Lockie Ash real? Now,
Yes.
what a fans.
Real person.
Pod.
Not at 570k.
Pew pew.
I like it though, but not at 570k.
And is it time to lay back? This is a good question. Is it time to lay back on our trades and start using them more wisely? I think it is, Trent. I think it is. I think if this week you don't see a meaningful upgrade, we've talked about, you don't, as much as we say you can go on Hustwaite, you don't have to go on Hustwaite. He's not going to change price until next week. If you don't like a trade, if you don't see a trade you like, you absolutely can hold those trades, because coming from someone last year that was ranked 750th, I think, at round 16, 17, finished 10K because I ran out of trades.
but
it can happen quick. It's good to hold some.
But you
sometimes.
did like dumb
You were trading
trades.
sideways premium.
well,
You
that's
traded Rowan. You traded TDK, Rowan Marshall.
Look, that's
you know.
beside the point, guys. Hold those trades if you can. What do you guys think? Time to be a
Well,
bit,
I think we said at the top of the show. I think you got to be sure about if you can keep improving your team. I think it's fine,
Yeah, don't say
but be okay with sitting this week.
Phants burning trades left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Got more 3 boosts. Happy with that.
Just focus on that VC loop this week. Then, Chief. Jack says,
Chiefed me.
who do you think will be the top 6 defenders going forward? I think that's too big a question.
Well, I've got to hear muscles. All right. No particular order? Or do you want them in order?
I'm going to jump in on this as well.
Go in order. Go on. Just if you had them in order.
Lockie Whitfield, Jack Sinclair, Harry Sheasel,
Just ignoring.
Naz, Dane Zorko, Matty Roberts, number 6.
Ooh, that's no.
You missed Tom Stewart. Was he top 3?
He's number 9. Matt Roberts, number 9. Remember all those people
All right.
that traded him?
5 names. What do you got? You got any changes for that?
Yeah, Lockie Ash, get him in there.
Lockie Ash.
Get him in there and get him and Connor Rosie when he gets defensive
Oh,
status.
that's actually a good call.
I forgot about
That's a
Connor
good
Rosie.
yeah,
call.
so
That's a
yeah.
good
Sorry, I
call.
forgot about Connor Rosie.
Dorco
I'll
out.
take out Roberts. Connor
Dorco-
Rosie.
Dorco and Roberts
Connor
out.
Rosie. No, Roberts out, Rosie in. So thanks, 5 names.
We had a hold or sell Zorko from GMAC. Didn't he just score really well?
No, he's still 104.
Okay. Hold or sell then? Hold or
Hold.
sell Zorks?
Hold. I mean, if you've got him, you've got to
Yeah.
hold. But
This one from a different Jack. Neil or Sinclair?
Lockie Neil.
Neil.
Keeping you up there, Phants. Bit of a yawn. Bit of a yawn in the mic. Jake, Bont or Butters?
In a big week.
Ooh.
Bont or Butters? Bont the price.
Bont. Yeah.
Subbed
He's
out though.
$6.90 now,
Is
Zach
he a
Butters.
sub risk? Is Bont a sub risk?
Starting sub.
Jacob, what is worth, and this is also related to these guys, what's it worth paying for them? How much can you pay for them? I know we're speaking about, he's
$6.90.
too much, but yeah, like how much?
Does
can
a
you pay?
full come at some point? It only takes one score. We spoke about Jack
So what if
Sinclair.
he gets to 650?
Shot to 640.
Yeah.
It takes one low score.
So you just don't pay for these guys until you see the fall. If
I
it
think.
comes. What if you can have these guys?
Really?
The fact you can have these
I
guys
think
as uniques.
I think you can jump
I
on
know.
Bont this week.
if you are one of the top coaches
think-
Yeah,
right now,
I'd-
imagine jumping on them
I
as a pod.
would love. I was trying to whatever I could to somehow get Bont or Butters in. I'd love
So-
to have them. Oh,
I can go Bont with my trade
Do
that
it.
gets Jack Sinclair.
Nah,
But I have to throw a position to get a 99k in.
get the Bont.
show some
Bont,
ball.
you can get Bont this week.
Get some balls, fam. Here you go. Actually, here's one: Bont or Nick Dacos. If you don't have Dacos like me,
Dacos at the price. What? How much cheaper is he?
Oh, so if you're not, what's the other, like, is the other trade?
Well, Dacos is 640. So
I
what
would
do you
go
get?
Bont.
40 more K?
I'd go
40k?
Go Bont.
Is it 40k?
Yeah, I still think Dacos is more susceptible to a tag than Bont is where I'd land. And plus, we've seen that Bont gets these peripheral stats
I
that
might
are
get
just.
Bont. I might get Bont.
Bont gets plus
Yeah, Bont
20 more peripheral stats than basically anyone else. Like, he just gets these contested knock-ons that other
Yeah.
players don't get because he's just so big in there
also Phantom
and he just can't be tagged.
Phantom tells Champion Data to give him points as well.
Not true. Jordan asks, will Jordan Dawson clean up his kicking
Well, that's a good question.
by foot and start averaging 110 plus? Because he was annoying on the weekends. He got donuts in the last quarter on the stat sheet.
I'm gonna put something out here.
Okay.
I think if Thilthorpe and Foggy don't get up against Charlton, I reckon Dawson plays forward.
Don't tell me that.
Will they get up? You were down there this
I
morning.
think they will. So I think at least one of them will.
How about Jordan Dawson's kicking efficiency in the last 3 weeks? 35%, 41%, and 40
Ugh.
kicking efficiency.
Is he?
His career kicking efficiency is 69.
We got this question at the footy club in the changing room after the hammy was torn off the bone and this conversation appeared. Is he a fake good kick? I reckon the Corn might have mentioned this a couple of years ago, maybe. Is he a fake
I think it's
good kick? He actually.
numbers are concerning, and he's not kicking the ball well under pressure at the moment. But I think that's a bit too early to say that.
I like it. He'll bounce back.
I would-
Remember, we
I would
jumped on
trade
him.
him.
I remember
I started with him last year and it was, that was a bad thing.
he did a similar thing last year, and then he went on a stretch averaging. He popped for 160 and 140 and 100. So yeah, if he starts cleaning up that kick, he's definitely going for the 110 plus. As mentioned, hopefully he can get there. Phants, did you have any final questions off your at the Phantom SC on X?
A few coming here that tied into what we've already talked about, but Humphreys says Humphrey or Fraser. Obviously, Bailey Humphrey traded out big time, scored 148.
151.
51, sorry. Would you go any of those? Would you trade in any of those mid prices? Could you go back to them if you didn't? Or if you didn't have it, could you? Are they a stepping stone again now?
Nah, I think we discussed this. I think it's premium time, right? 5 names.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
unless if it's really.
Apart from Flynn's the only one that's like if
There's one I can put out there. I mentioned before. Trent Rivers' BE is still quite low. So he's like 420. He could be a stepping stone.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean he's got a good matchup this week. I can't do non-premium trades now, I think. And we've had some guys drop enough now that you can target them, but Phants, where do you sit?
No, I think premiums.
Yeah.
Go up. One here for 5 names.
Oh, no.
Humphrey was good though. Wow.
Who, from Matt, not Matt Turner, who would win a cage match, Patch or 5 names? Patch, obviously from the...
What are we doing there?
Keep without, babe.
Probably Patch, I reckon.
Crazy Frogs is a nearly goodbye this week. Top 8 mid from now. Yep. I think so. Question for you, Dossie.
Yep.
From Clayton. Hey, boys, who will win Hager Tag this week? Brayshaw or Sarong? Answer from each of you, please. Who do you think?
Sarong.
Brayshaw. I think they've got to make the move now.
That's a Sarong owner right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You disgust me.
That's about it.
All right.
Well, you haven't answered the question from Matt Bear Torres to finish off. Have you been practicing or copying, the GOAT Silver's team?
I only
2
realised-
uniques.
Yeah, we only had 2 uniques in our squad in our matchup this week. Now, I venture to ask the question, is he copying me?
Ooh, he's
Yeah.
below you in the rankings, I think.
Dospy Lestier, cousin of Self.
Let's wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. Interesting week again on the socials. Look out for all the video content. Like, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Of course, Code Sports YouTube channel. Leave us a rating everywhere. Get the peroxide back in 5 names.
How quickly after the ratings hit 500 are you getting that peroxide done?
I don't know.
Give him a week.
A week?
Yep.
A week.
Well, I need to organise stuff. You need to, it's a,
Depends what he's got on. He's a popular man.
well,
Give us some ideas for bottom of the pod too, please, because we need to get some of these functions done.
Good for you.
All right.
All right, see you
Fairly
next
well.
week.
Bye.